So got Addo Bolden, Sonia Richards-Ross, Paul Swangard and Lewis Johnson covering all the action for you here on day 5 in Eugene, Oregon. And we're going to kick things off tonight with the first of 3 heats of the men's 1,500 metres. And there is a teenager, the 18-year-old from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Kara Hobbs Kessler, who everybody is talking about.
What a story Hobbs Kessler is. A year ago, no one knew his name, and now everyone knows his name. He comes in with one of the fastest times, the high school American record holder, faster than the NCAA championship record, and he's just so composed. He went professional yesterday. This is his first time doing rounds. It's really exciting to see him in this position.
It's not just track that he enjoys. He is a very enthusiastic and a very talented rock climber as well.
Yes, he competed at the 2019 Youth World Climbing Championships. He thinks that climbing helps him keep calm, gives him a really good core, and keeps his body really strong.
He broke a high school record that stood for some 20 years. People thought that it'd never be broken. And nothing seems too big for this kid. He takes it all in his stride, and that's what has got everybody talking.
He's got a great team around him. He's coached by Ron Warhurst, and he trains with Nick Willis, who is a 2-time Olympic medalist, and also with Mason Furlick, who we'll see in the final of the steeplechase tomorrow. He's got a great community around him, and everyone's just so excited to see what he's able to do here.
A quick pre-race yawn.
A little bored.
He's ready to get this going. So the top 3 in each of these 3 heats will go through, and I'll tell you the rest in a moment. Top 6 go through from the 3 heats, and then the next 6 fastest overall time. So heat 1 of 3 in the men's 1,500 metres. There's the full field for you in 88-degree conditions here in Eugene, Oregon.
We see hip 1, that's Vincent Ciotti, who's sort of taken the pace here. He runs for the Oregon Track Club Elite right here out of Eugene, Oregon. This is his home track and his home base. He's been having a breakout year, and so he's comfortable taking the pace here and sort of controlling this effort in this first round. All in green, Vincent Ciotti. He's already met the Olympic qualifying standard. If you're interested, it's 3 minutes, 35 seconds even. Yeah, and there's a few men that have met that standard in this heat. Josh Thompson, who runs for the Bowerman Track Club, he's met that time, and so has Hobbs Kessler.
Paul Ryan, all in red, hip 8. The 24-year-old out of Idaho is running shoulder to shoulder with Ciotti. There's the teenager, Hobbs Kessler, with number 3 on his waist, that yellow band around his waist. We'll see what the teenager does as this race progresses.
You know, he's never done rounds before. He's never been at a championship race like this where he has to do rounds, and I'm sure with Ron Warhurst as his coach, he is as prepared as can be. But this will be different. You know, you have to control your physicality and your mental state throughout the rounds, and this is something new for him to learn. All of these men out here are trying to get through to the next round as easily as possible without exerting a lot of mental stress or physical stress. And so this is new for him to learn how to do this.
And Hobbs Kessler was just easing number 4 there, Casey Comer, out of the way as he tried to come through on the rail. I was talking with Ron Warhurst, Hobbs Kessler's coach, earlier today. You know how Kessler and Mason Furlick, who we'll see in the men's steeplechase final, spent the day? Playing Mario Kart.
Hey,
pretty
whatever
low
keeps
stress,
you relaxed.
low stress.
Absolutely. We see Paul Ryan now take the lead from Washington State. He was a finalist just a couple weeks ago in the 1,500 at the NCAA Championship here in Eugene.
Colby Alexander from Strongsville, Ohio. He's in the mix, the 30-year-old. He's 3rd in shot, all in black there on your right.
You know, that they ran 62 and then 64. So they're all kind of, for these men, this is jogging here right now. And so I think we're going to see people positioning here as they come around here and getting ready. You know, they all want to get through on place. They don't want to have to be reliant on time. So I think we'll see a little jostling here and a quick run to the finish over these last 500 meters.
So that's David Ribich who's gone to the front. And we're keeping an eye on Hobbs Kessler, the 18-year-old. He's running in about 5th at the moment on the inside, all in black. There he is. Now the big picture goal with the bell ringing, 1 to go. He's running these rounds. He's now starting to make his move. If he were to get a ticket on that plane to Tokyo. He would be the youngest US man to make an Olympic team in the 1500 since Jim Ryan qualified for Tokyo 1964. That's what's on the line for this 18-year-old.
Well, that sure would be something. He needs to get through this round, though, and he looks like he's been running this really smart. He didn't get caught up in anything early. He's been sitting back and waiting, and now we see Thompson moving up on the outside a little bit, too. These men want to be in this top 6, and now we're going to see some arms flying and legs pumping here as they get towards the finish line.
It's David Ribich who leads the way, all in yellow, then Vincent Ciardi. Thompson's coming on the outside in that white singlet. And Hobbs Kessler, he is in that 6th place now. He starts to push forward. Ribich leads. Here comes the kid on the outside. Here comes Hobbs Kessler. Just to confirm his position, he looks around, goes across the line for the win. 18-year-old Hobbs Kessler wins in 3:45.63. So that's a good 10 seconds above the Olympic standard. But that's not what it's about at the moment. It's just about progressing and making it through to the next round and to the semis, which you'll see tomorrow.
You know, they closed that last lap in 53. They were flying, and I'm impressed by the presence and the poise we saw from Hobbs Kessler. Here, he's sort of in the back. He's coming off the bend. He's not in great position, but he slows down a little, moves on the outside to Thompson, and he's looking over. He's like, I just don't know where I need to be, you know, but he got in there great. And we also see Thompson get through as well, Centrowitz's training partner. He just moved out, looked over, saw he was in good position, cruised in.
Again, top 6 from each heat will advance to the semi-finals. And some good encouragement there for the youngster, Hobbs Kessler, in what was an interesting run to home. So Hobbs Kessler, Josh Thompson, he was strong on that last lap, wasn't he? David Ribich, Vincent Ciardi, Paul Ryan, and 1500, Matthew Centrowitz.
Centrowitz ran such a great race in Rio. I mean, this race was incredible. He is one of the best tacticians in the world, and he always seems to find a way. You know, he was in that race, he was in the perfect place, and when he finds his place and he finds his speed, he really is untouchable. An absolutely beautiful finish to hold off everyone in the world, become the Olympic champion, the first champion for the United States in 108 years. He seemed a little stunned at the end, yeah. But I think those of us that have been following his career, we knew he could do it.
What a year it has been for this college freshman. He's won NCAA titles in the 1500, the mile, and the 3000. From the University of Oregon, Cole Hocker.
What a round of applause. What a welcome for the 20-year-old from Indianapolis, Indiana. You know, today he was on the front page of the Indianapolis Stars sports section.
I love it. He has a lot of family here to cheer him on. And, you know, even though he's won so many races this year, 3 NCAA titles, he said this has been the main focus all year. He was coming here to be ready here to give himself the best chance to land a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. So he is a huge talent. We look forward to watching him run through these rounds.
Lots of family and friends here supporting him as well. In this heat, we should see feature Craig Engels, one of the biggest personalities in track and field, but he has been waiting 5 years to get redemption, and redemption means getting into the Olympic team. He missed out narrowly in 2016.
You know, he looked vulnerable at the beginning of the year, but he turned things around a few weeks ago. Looks great.
Second heat of the men's 1500, top 6 go through. If you don't want to have to rely on time.
You know, not only is Matthew Centrowitz the defending Olympic champion, he's also a former Duck.
Yes. And speaking of Ducks, finishing his senior year here, Jack Urian is in this race as well, and Jack is the roommate to Cole Hocker. So there's lots of great stories and close relationships in this race as Centrowitz goes around the outside just to move himself into mid-pack. Hocker leads over Craig Engels in the blue and green.
One of my favorite stories I've read so far is about Eric Holt. He has hip number 3. His high school did a huge send-off for him. They have Holt Mania at his high school, in Carmel High School in New York. Pretty exciting when someone from your hometown gets to these championships.
Bright yellow top running third with hip number 1. That's Waleed Suleiman, the 22-year-old from Richmond, Virginia. He ran third in the 1500 at the recently run 2021 NCAA Championships.
So Lee, this heat's going out quite a bit faster than the last one. They were 57.8 through 400. So this is interesting to see Cole Hocker take this race and take it so fast. You know, he does not have the Olympic standard qualifying time yet, and I have to wonder if maybe he's making a push for that here. And he has some company that'll go with him, but he's certainly capable of achieving that standard.
Engels just on the back of him there, ahead of Suleiman, and you may have noticed Matthew Centrowitz, white top, black bottoms. Centro's eased his way up into fourth.
You know, I love watching Matthew Centrowitz run. He looks so relaxed all the time. He just looks like he's out jogging. Everything's so controlled. There's no wasted movement on his body. You know, when he goes to kick, you see a little bit more motion, but he is the epitome of, like, beautiful form and a great, I mean, he's just such a great tactician. He's fun to watch.
A little earlier in the year, Cara, he said, I may not be as sharp as I was in 2016, but I'll get there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's run one 1,500-meter race this year, and he, you know, in typical Centrowitz fashion, dominated it. And, you know, one of his coaches, Shalane Flanagan, told me that he is one of their more difficult athletes to work with, not because of personality, but because of age, and he's a bit injury-prone. You know, their job is to just keep him healthy and then sort of get out of the way and just let his talent come through.
And if you talk about age, in comparison, Matthew Centrowitz is 31. The guy leading the race is 20. Now Waleed Suleiman moves up alongside Cole Hocker. 1 to go here at Hayward Field. Centrowitz now alongside Engels.
This is a heck of a race out of Cole Hocker. He is really just taking control of this race and making all of the professionals follow his lead. It's really cool to see.
It's no surprise. It's been a little bit of a theme here at these trials. The younger athletes, the collegians, going out and setting a cracking pace. Look at what Isaiah Jewett did in the 800-meter final.
Yeah, he really made a run for it and ended up on the team. And so we see these younger kids, they're going for it at this championship.
Hocker, Suleiman, Centrowitz third. Craig Engels is in fourth. Top 6 gets there. Engels is going to have to keep an eye out. Cole Hocker has a look around. Everybody's jostling. They just want to ensure that they're in the top 6. So that lead pack of 4 that we've watched for most of the race, no problems there. Cole Hocker gets the win. And looks around. Everybody was just checking each other out, seeing where they were, and no problem advancing to the semi-finals for the Olympic champ, Matthew Centrowitz.
Matthew Centrowitz looked so composed and relaxed throughout that whole heat. He was just sort of getting the job done, getting through as easy as possible. We can see him now, smile on his face. And this is what I'm talking about. When they come around the turn here, see Centrowitz, see how calm and relaxed he looks. There's some straining on some people's faces. He's just kind of looking around. He's counting. He's like, you know, doing a tally of the people, and he's like, you know, I'm good. I'm exactly where I need to be.
Really good, strong finish from Jack Urian as well on the far left there. The Oregon Duck, he brings it home in 5th place ahead of Eric Holt. So Urian is looking all around, look to his right, looking to his left. You're in the top 6 there, Jack, no problem. You're through to the semi-final. So too is Waleed Suleiman. He ran a very good race right from the gun.
He really did. He was one of the few people to go with Cole Hocker and just went for it. Now he gets rewarded with a trip to the next round.
So the cues on that graphic designate the automatic qualifiers through to the semi-finals. That's Hocker, Suleiman, Engels, Centrowitz, the Olympic champ Urian, where you will see Rio Olympian Ben Blankenship.
Yeah, you know, Blankenship had a great year in 2016, you know, edging out 2012 silver medalist Leo Manzano to be named to the American team. He made the final in Rio and was running great. He hasn't raced yet this year, so there's some question marks of what sort of fitness he's in, but he certainly is a gamer and a really talented athlete.
And Ben will be up against another talented youngster in Yared Nuguse.
Yared Nuguse set the NCAA championship record this year in a first round at the ACC championships, and I talked to him about it, and he said it was a game day decision. You know, he just got in the race and he said, you know, I'll play it by ear. If I feel good at halfway, I'll go for the Olympic standard. He felt good, he went for it. Not only did he get under that Olympic standard, but he got himself the NCAA record. And
did you see anybody around him? No, you did not. He did the majority of that ostensibly by himself.
100%.
to the men's 1500. Top 6 go through to the semis, which you will see tomorrow here on NBCSN. There's the full field for you. Isaac York's in there. Ibrahim, Sam Prakel, Johnny Gregorek is in this one as well. Henry Wynn. There are lots of athletes who could make it into this top 6.
You see Henry Wynn in there. He has had a heck of a comeback to be here. He had knee surgery, then he had emergency surgery on his stomach, and then in January he got COVID. And yet he's just remained positive throughout. He comes in after running personal best to be here, and he really is a comeback kid.
So at the moment, Isaac Yorks leads the way in that bright yellow top there. He's right alongside Trip Hurt. Now Yorks just surges to the front, second to last, but not for too much longer. All in green, the Rio Olympian, there he is right there. Ben Blankenship starting to push his way through. He's on the inside of Wynn, and you see Yared Nuguse starting to push his way forward in the Notre Dame colors there.
You know, I loved what Nuguse told me. He said, well, it wasn't that hard. It was kind of easy because I had the clock to look at when he set that record. No pacers, no one to push him, you know, but he had the clock to look at. It was super fun to talk to, and he says, I still don't know that much about running. I'm still learning.
And he said, look, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm ready for this challenge. I wasn't a kid who grew up dreaming of going to the Olympics. It's kind of come my way. And he said, I will go to the trials, I'll give it my best. But he said, if it doesn't go my way, I know that I've got dental school to really focus on.
He's got a lot going on. We see right behind Yorks, we see Eric Avila, who actually won the Drake Relays Road Mile earlier this year, which was a U.S. championship. And that was his first U.S. championship that he's ever won. So he's feeling good. And right behind him is Sam Prakel, who is an Oregon Duck himself. And this pace is a little bit more honest even than the last one. They went out in 57 and came back in 59. So this is, as of right now, the quickest heat we've seen so far.
Blankenship is starting to make his way forward. They're all in green on the inside, the Rio Olympian. First race for 2021. Imagine that. Your first race is an Olympic qualifying race. You're going to try and be in the top 6 to go through.
This is a really good field, and right there we see Johnny Gregorek, who's made a world championship team before, who's run so fast. He's struggled a little bit this year to find his form, but he certainly has the ability to stick with it in this last lap here.
Eric Avila leads into the bell lap. He leads Sam Prakel. Gregorek all in blue. There goes Yared Nuguse in the white shorts, blue top on the outside there, as he's pulled up alongside Isaac Yorks. Top 6 go through. Blankenship's on the outside looking in at the moment. The 8 of Henry Wynn. Wynn is in that 6. This is going to be a mad scramble.
Yeah, and we see Blankenship start to try to make a move here. You know, this is what we're used to seeing from him. We're used to seeing him really rev up with 200 meters to go. So we'll see if he can pull it off tonight.
Eric Avila, Sam Prakel. They're there. Here comes Wynn. Johnny Gregorek surging forward. Ben Blankenship is not going to make it. He's been left out the back. And there's 7 runners here going for 6 spots. Henry Wynn really came home hard in that final 200 there. Good run from Sam Prakel. And likewise Eric Avila. The youngster Yared Nuguse was in there.
You know, it looked like Blankenship got a little bit boxed in there as he came around the turn. It seemed like he went to go and he found that there was a wall in front of him. People were moving out, and as they're allowed to do, and look around and make sure that their position was protected, and it kind of kept him out.
Let's have a look at Ben Blankenship, all in green there. He's near Abe Alvarado in red. So he says, okay, now it's time to go. This is up the back stretch.
Yeah, and that's what we're used to seeing from Blankenship. He moves out and he makes a late move, and that's what makes him so good and so dangerous on the track. But as he came around here on the bend and he went for home, he found himself behind a wall of people, and he really just didn't have room to move. And, you know, these men were all together. They're all looking for the end. They all look so good. They're looking around. They know that they need to be in the top 6. They know that they've pulled away, and they sort of formed a wall and ran in together.
With 7 going for 6 spots. It was very quickly made just 6, and Ben Blankenship says thanks to the crowd. And he will have to rely on time. as we show you the results of the third and final heat in the men's 1500. And I'm pretty sure Blankenship will go through on time. That was a faster heat. So despite the disappointment,